Tupac and Biggie, Biggie and Pac, arguably two of the best of all time, greatest of all time, the GOATs, in many people's eyes, not mine. This isn't a rant about who the best rapper of all time is. I can't even get in that conversation. I can't even rate them like that. I will say of the two, I will choose Tupac because I listen to his music more. And Biggie, I just really wasn't a fan, although I did like some of his songs. But the question is, what would Tupac and Biggie be doing now in the year 2021 had they still been alive? The unlikely deaths of them both, Tupac in 96 and Biggie in 97. Some may argue that if they were around, hip-hop would be much better than what we have now. I don't listen to what is out now. But I really think that these guys would probably be in the same category as some of the rappers that I grew up on and what they're doing now. And if I can go back down memory lane to, I want to say, when I was in high school maybe, a lot of the guys that I listened to, or gals that I listened to, are in Hollywood now. Ice-T, Cool J. When Heavy D was around, he was doing movies. He was in TV shows. I remember Heavy D on Living Single. Ice Cube, Method Man is on Power, Ghost Part 2 now. And 50 Cent is producing this. 50 Cent is also in it himself. And Will Smith won a Grammy, but he's better known as an actor now. Run DMC had a reality show, and Common did movies. T.I. had a reality show and was in movies. Mos Def, movies. Ludacris, movies. Snoop's doing everything. I mean, he's doing talk shows. I mean, even Bow Wow's doing reality shows and movies. I saw MC Lyte in the Powerverse. She was in one of the Power TV shows and a couple other things. Latifah, Queen Latifah and Eve. These are all people I listened to back in the 80s, early 2000s. And I'd say Biggie and Tupac would most likely be doing the same thing. I mean, Tupac already had Juice and Poetic Justice and Above the Rim under his belt. And I think he made an appearance on A Different World with Jada Pinkett, which was his longtime friend. But I don't think these guys would be, I don't think they would be rapping, even if they put albums out. I think they would be in show business. I mean, Biggie was on Martin, episode of Martin. He was pretty good. And now all these actors I just named, they have acting coaches. They go over line, they send them to acting school for a while, get their craft down. I think Biggie would have, made appearances in movies. I think it would have been good. I liked him when he was on Martin. Just that one show. But to say that they would sell because Rakim and KRS and even Jay-Z when he came out with his 444 album, not a lot of people bought it. I mean, with the downloads now and iTunes and iHeartRadio, not a lot of them are selling. And this generation just isn't listening. You see, when the culture and the generation evolves, so does everything else, just like in basketball and football. You watch basketball, the games change. This is a 3-point. You watch football, you can't touch the quarterback. These guys need to be wearing flags. It's the same thing with hip-hop. I was a Tupac fan. Tupac. Now, when I was in, I don't know, maybe 5th and 6th grade, it was Kool Herc and African Bambaataa came out, and then the Sugar Hill Gang came out later with Melly Mel and Grandmaster Flash, and they were just doing messages about the streets and what's going on and how they can come up. And then Curtis Blow came and changed the game a little bit and got a little more hip, and Run DMC and My Adidas and Houdini and about Be Yourself and One Love and LL, Rockin' the Bells and the Beastie Boys and Fat Boys and UTFO, and it was just fun. you're listening to it and it's like, oh yeah, this is fun, and you had the house parties, and then Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick came out with Kool Moe Dee, and it's getting a little more hip. But this generation now, they wouldn't listen to any of that. Just like when I was listening to Run DMC, I'm not going back to listen to Kool Herc and Africa Bambaataa. You get where I'm going? And Public Enemy comes, and KRS-One, and then the consciousness comes on rap, and they're delivering messages, and we're angry. You're not doing right. And Too Short and E40 are talking about the Bay Area and what's going on, and how things are in the streets. And this is what's really going on our side of the, you know what I'm saying? No, and so the guys that listen to Kool Herc and Sugar Hill, they're probably not feeling Dougie Fresh. They're probably saying, that's corny. The Fat Boys, what are you doing to our music? In jail without the bail. That's corny. So if you listen to Kool Herc and Africa Bambaataa, you're probably not feeling Dougie Fresh. And if you're listening to Public Enemy, you're probably not feeling Houdini or the Beastie Boys. And if you're listening to Too Short and E40, you're probably not. So things evolve. And Cool G Rap comes, and the Tribe Called Quest, and Heavy D, and Kid and Play, and MC Live. So they all come, and now we're slowly forgetting about Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick and Dana Dane, Kwame, all these guys coming out, and then De La Soul and Queen Latifah and Naughty by Nature come and make it more Afrocentric. And everyone's wearing the African medallions. And so it's evolving even more. And now you're forgetting about Slick Rick. You're not listening to KRS-One as much anymore because you're so Afrocentric. But then Ice-T comes, and NWA, and now it's about the streets and what's going on in LA and how the cops are being dirty. And then Snoop and Dre come, and now you got the East Coast. That's really turning it up. So now you definitely forget about Run DMC. You definitely forget about Dougie Fresh. You're not even listening to Public Enemy, who's spitting some positive stuff about what's going on in the government and how they're trying to take over. And you're not even into the Afrocentric and the Naughty by Natures or the De La Souls, because now it's gangster rap and Snoop and Dre until Biggie and Pac comes along. And in between that, you had the Cash Money Brothers and Making Money. But Biggie and Pac came and changed the game because they were all of that mixed together, especially Tupac. And then Fat Joe and Big Pun and Nas and Jay-Z, they come. But Biggie and Pac, they're still on top of the game. 50 Cent and T.I. and Ludacris and, you throw Scarface and Busta, all these guys come, but Pac and Biggie still on top. LL Cool J tries to get in the mix, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Rock the Bells, Radio, Backseat of My Jeep. He's doing ballads, Hey Lover, with Boyz II Men. But Pac and Biggie are gone. Then even after Pac and Biggie were gone, you had guys like T.I. and Ja Rule and DMX that are still trying to stay in the game and still trying to emulate what his sound was. And Lil Wayne. And after that, I dropped off the face of the earth. These new guys, I couldn't. I think I just stopped listening to rap and I just stuck with R&B. But my whole point is, these guys, Pac and Biggie, as good as they were, I don't think they would listen to the music. I don't think young people will recognize and want to listen to that music the same way I didn't want to listen to Africa Bambaataa and Kool Herc. It's good, but no, I'm going to stick with Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew. I'm going to stick with Slick Rick. I'm going to stick with KRS-One. That's where I'm going. So when Busta comes out, and Scarface, and 50, Eminem, those guys come out, they don't want to hear KRS-One. KRS-One is coming out with an album. People now aren't going to buy it. People my age will buy it. People my age, I'll buy a Rakim album. But I have a list of names of these rappers I heard of some of them. The Future, Chance the Rapper, 2 Chainz, Kendrick Lamar, Tiger, Tigger, whatever, Ty Dolla, Lil Baby, Travis Scott, J. Cole, Cardi B, 21 Savage, Migos, Meek Mill, Offset, Kodak Black. I don't know any of these guys. I can't tell you one name. I know Drake and, Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. I can't tell you one song they sing. I think Nicki Minaj sang an Anaconda song. That's just because she's with this big snake or something. Somebody showed me a video. And Drake has the phone song or God's Plan or that. That's it. I can't tell you what anybody else sings. But I'll tell you this, if Tupac and Biggie were here and they were putting music out, I'd buy it. I don't think it would sell like it sold back then. I would buy their music and get their albums, but it just wouldn't sell because this generation now has evolved so much that they don't recognize what hip hop is. I won't listen to this mumble whatever and auto-tune stuff. I can't do it. But let me know in the comment section, what do you think Biggie and Pac would be doing? I personally think they would be in movies and reality shows and things of that nature. That's what I think they would be doing. I don't know if album sales would be what they were. But that's just my rant. Leave me a comment in the comment section.